A very good evening to you all. You're joining us on Prime TV News. I'm Dilani Jayatilaka. Let's have a look at the headlines first. The Enterprise Sri Lanka National Exhibition kicked off. The President is warmly welcomed in Nepal. Suspects who assaulted wildlife officers remanded. Court orders to arrest former Navy Commander Ravindra Wijegunawardena if evidence supports. Puerto Rico's death toll from Hurricane Maria raised to nearly 3,000 people. Now for news in detail. The Enterprise Sri Lanka National Exhibition will be held in Monaragala for 3 days from today onwards. It was opened by Prime Minister Ranil Wickremesinghe. The exhibition is organized by the Ministry of Finance and Mass Media. The Enterprise Sri Lanka exhibition is based on the 2025 vision of the government. The public exhibition was opened this morning by Minister of Finance and Mass Media Mangala Samaravira, and Prime Minister Ranil Wickremesinghe officially opened the national exhibition. Enterprise Sri Lanka loan system is meant to transform Sri Lanka into an entrepreneurial paradise, empowering promising entrepreneurs. The exhibition has been organized with blessings and advice of the President. The exhibition features 12 zones and 515 stalls. It will run till 31st of this month. Exhibitors representing the public and private sectors will take part at the event. A large-scale education zone will also be featured. During the exhibition, the youth will be educated about the Enterprise Sri Lanka loan scheme. The promising entrepreneurs can get registered at the Enterprise Sri Lanka database that will be maintained at the site. The qualified applicants can request for business loans from the public and private banks at the site itself. Short-term certificate courses will also be conducted during the period. Triforces will run special zone in the event. The public will be educated about the electric trishaws that have been manufactured to meet green technologies. Personal development sessions will also be held. Measures have been taken to bring live broadcast from the exhibition site. 11 suspects, including a local politician attached to the Sri Lanka Podujana Peramuna, who were apprehended in connection with the assault on wildlife officers at the Minneria National Park, were ordered to be remanded for 14 days by the Hinguragoda Magistrate Court. A group of villagers attacked the officers attached to Wildlife Conservation Department at the Minneria National Park recently and had taken away a suspect who had been in the custody of the officers. The wildlife officers had arrested the suspect for engaging in illegal fishing. Several wildlife officers who were assaulted by the group were rushed to the Habarana hospital. Former Navy Lieutenant Commander Chandana Prasad Hettiarachchi was further remanded till the 12th of next month under the charges of abduction and disappearance of 11 youths during the past government. The court ordered to arrest the former Navy Commander Ravindra Wijegunawardena if there was any evidence to prove that he was aiding Chandana Prasad Hettiarachchi. Chandana Hettiarachchi was produced before Fort Magistrate Lanka Jayaratna today. The case against former Deputy Minister Sarath Kumara Gunaratna and 5 other suspects who were allegedly involved in the printing of diaries during the last presidential election for political purposes, spending money from public coffers, was fixed to October 19th. The Court of Appeal decided to postpone allowing Venerable Galabodatte Gnanasara Thera to appeal against the verdict given against him at the Supreme Court today after tomorrow. Venerable Gnanasara Thera was sentenced to 6 years rigorous imprisonment for contempt of court by showcasing bad behaviour before the Homagama magistrate. scheduled to hold meetings with other Sri Lankan government leaders to further promote bilateral relationships between the two countries. The U.S. Coast Guard handed over a high-endurance cutter, formerly the U.S. CGC Sherman, to the Sri Lankan Navy in a ceremony presided over by Vice Admiral Sirimevan Ranasinghe, Commander of the Sri Lankan Navy, and Rear Admiral Michael Haycock of the U.S. Coast Guard. The cutter, a gift from the people of the United States, will be the largest ship in the Sri Lankan fleet and strengthens defence cooperation between the United States and Sri Lanka. The ship will increase Sri Lanka's ability to patrol its exclusive economic zone, providing additional security for ships from all nations that transit the busy sea lanes of the Indian Ocean. It measures 115 meters long and when fully staffed carries a crew of 167. For over a month, 110 Sri Lankan sailors have been training with the Sherman's crew on operating the vessel. The handover builds on Sri Lanka's first ever participation in the US Pacific Fleet Exercise Rim of the Pacific 2018 in July of this year and will increase interoperability between the two navies. The sail-away date for the cutter will be in February 2019. Overhaul and maintenance as well as the training of the crew will continue until then. The gift of the cutter was first announced by former Under-Secretary of State for Political Affairs Thomas Shannon during the US-Sri Lanka Partnership Dialogue in November 2017. Parliamentarian Mayantha Dissanayake says that a bill on sustainable development is being prepared to be presented in-house. He made this statement at a workshop in Colombo to educate the media over the International Eval Conference to be held in Sri Lanka. The Global Parliamentarians Forum for Evaluation, together with Eval partners, the Sri Lanka Parliamentarians Forum for Evaluation, Prime Minister's Office of Sri Lanka, Parliament of Sri Lanka and the Sri Lanka Evaluation Association will host Eval Colombo 2018. The three-day forum will be held from the 17th to 19th in Colombo to promote demand and use of evaluation by parliamentarians through dialogue and exchange, generate innovative approaches to tackling them at a global level. 98 international parliamentarians representing 90 countries will participate in the international conference. The purpose of this conference is to evaluate and review the allocations for projects to be implemented by the government. It is also planned to prepare a national assessment policy for Sri Lanka. Sri Lanka will be the only country in the world to initiate such an historic event for sustainable development.
On September 17th, 18th and 19th, the Parliamentary Caucus have invited international participants, international members of Parliament from all over the world. 98 members of Parliament have confirmed their participation on the 17th and 18th and 19th of September. For this evaluation Colombo, it's called Eval Colombo. They are coming for to ensure that Sri Lanka also plays a role in evaluations, especially government money that has been allocated for projects and things that the government is doing. So this conference will ensure that Sri Lanka is also in line with sustainable development and government evaluation. We have presented an act to a paper to Cabinet, and Cabinet has endorsed that. And thereafter we will have a parliamentary act, a bill in Parliament to ensure that every government institution, government department and ministry will fall in line with the evaluation goals.
The Akawa military training exercise organized by the Sri Lanka Army for the 9th consecutive year will kick off on 6th September. Major General Nishanka Ranavana, Commander Security Forces Kilinochchi, says the event will take place with a record participation of more than 100 foreign military participants and observers, in addition to 2,500 Army personnel, 400 sailors and 200 airmen. He added that it will continue until 26 September 2018, covering the eastern, central, western and north central provinces. This year's exercise portrays counter-insurgency scenario with the influence of asymmetrical warfare, which has turned out to be the common approach among most non-state actors, extremist groups, and appears to be the most likely national and international security threat in the 21st century. Sri Lanka's first ever multi-purpose fisheries harbours are in the pipeline. An agreement was reached between the Korean and Sri Lankan governments to begin construction work of the harbours early next year. This agreement was reached after a discussion between the Korean ambassador to Sri Lanka, Lee Hyun, and State Minister of Fisheries and Aquatic Resources, Dilip Vedarachi. The discussion was focused on how to expedite the construction of multi-purpose fisheries harbours. The feasibility studies will be carried out by a group of high-profile experts from the Ministry of Fisheries of the Republic of Korea. Korea has decided to provide a loan to Sri Lanka at a low interest rate. Multi-purpose fisheries harbours will be constructed in Udaipur, Delft, Madagal and Valai. President Maithripala Sirisena paid his last respects to late former Army Commander General Rohan Daluwatta. Rohan Daluwatta passed away at the age of 77 after a brief illness. He joined the Sri Lanka Army as a cadet officer in 1961 and served until 1998. He served as the commander of the Army from May 1, 1996 to December 15, 1998. He was the 14th commander of the Sri Lanka Army. General Daluwatta earned many medals for his bravery and dedicated service.